this lab, basically we have been told that some of the characters are blocked. We will check which characters are allowed and all, and we have been told that there is an reflected XSS. Okay, let's see. Report. Uh, in this lab, it is saying that our input is going into the JavaScript URL. Okay, let's check adding random data. Okay, nothing is going here inside the URL as you can see. Okay, as you can see, we dumped random data here, but it didn't show here. So what else we can try here is by, okay, as you can see there was a post ID in the URL. Let's try to manipulate this. Okay, invalid post ID. Okay, we can try to add a parameter in. Okay, it didn't give an error, so we can check that it is showing here. Okay, as you can see that our entered data is reflecting into the URL, and here it is a function. Let me just copy this function. Okay, there is some error or what? Okay, you can copy here. So basically, in the anchor tag, href is calling JavaScript, as we have been used this payload for JavaScript and here alert function, but it is instead of alert, it is calling a fetch function, and in fetch function, it is passing three parameters, and if we remove this, let me clean this up function. Okay, and in this post id equals to 3. Okay, and where's the question mark? It is basically getting URL encoded here. So this this is what it looks. So we have to inject our payload here somewhere here so that it, it gets executed and gives an alert function. As we have seen that our our input here, hello, as we check that our input is being reflected in these parameters, but it didn't reflect it, so we tried to manipulate the post id, but it didn't work. So we introduced and introduced another tag that it might give an error or not, but it didn't give an error. So and we checked also that our entered data is being reflected in the URL. So we found that here in this function, fetch function, there is some vulnerability, but how to exploit it? Can anybody try to guess, as we have done so many labs? Any guess, random guess? What we can try? Any random guess? As we have seen here that our entered data is going here, so it's obvious that we have to inject something here only, some payload here only. So now our target is to first escape this string first and this curly braces first. So what we will do is we will introduce an and single quote, and we should end this. Okay, and what we can do here, we will give a comma so that the fetch function will think that okay, this is one parameter, this is second parameter, and we will introduce our third parameter here. Okay, this is just crap and bullshit. Okay, so in the fetch function there is one parameter, second parameter we have and ended here, and we will introduce our third parameter. But now if we tried to directly call, it might give an error. Let's try, because it has said that some characters are blocked. So let's try first a single quote and bracket and a comma, and if we try alert 1, let's see how our data is being handled. Okay, it is HTML, and we can see our, okay, it is executing perfectly, but our brackets are gone. Okay, it is adding these again, so we have to add again this at the end. But as you can see that our alert and curly rounded brackets are gone, so it is filtering it out. Okay, what we can try here is just simple quote here, alert comma 1, we can try to pass another parameter, and what will provide a single quote and a closing bracket, because at the end it is adding now. Here, let's check now. Edit as HTML. Okay, okay, our single quote is being URL encoded, so it is not treating it properly. Okay, okay. If we directly pass percentage 27 and another percentage 27 and curly braces, not curly braces, let's see. Okay, this might be over, but again this is continuing. So how to escape this? So we can add curly braces here, and comma here, let's see. Okay, now it is kind of okay, as this is getting over here, and we introduce another parameter and we close this. Okay, and this bracket is of the fetch starting bracket, so we have to be in this bracket only, so our entered payload will be here. Okay, instead of alert. So now our rounded brackets are getting blocked in this. So what else we can try here is this comma. This is compulsory. Okay, this this is compulsory and this is compulsory. In the instead of this alert, we have to write a payload in such a way that it gets executed. And in the lab description, we have been told that some of these things are blocked. Okay, if we tried to give a space, let's see. Okay, it is again getting blocked percentage, and again our single quotes are getting blocked. So how we can exploit this? How we can exploit this? Sorry. Are you all getting at this point what I am trying to teach? A little bit of it. It's no worries. It's an expert level lab. I know it's very tough. Are you all getting it? Okay, Sahil is getting it. What about others? But, yes, please guys. At least type yes or no if you are getting it or not. If no, I will try to explain in a different way. Okay, this is very simple as we have seen that by adding this we are closing this parameter and we are introducing commas so that we can add another parameter in the fetch function and adding at the end this because at the end it is adding this automatically, so it won't give in JavaScript error. That's why we are hitting here. As we have seen, our single quotes are blocked, so we can't call alert function directly here, and rounded brackets are also blocked, so we can try. If we have studied tilde, we can try tilde also. Let's see it will work or not. And our space is also blocked. Let's try tilde, it is working or not. It didn't give a pop-up, means it is not working. Okay, it is escaping only. It is disappearing our tilde only. Okay, so tilde also don't work. So how we can make an alert call here? See guys, I don't know that much of programming, but I'm trying to explain that if we introduce a function, okay, and we introduce a function and we pass a parameter here that return a plus b, okay, and if we call a function 1 comma 3, what it will return? and basic, it will return 4. But what if we introduce another here? It, what do you guys think? It will throw an error or it will just pass? If we passed another parameter but it is not requiring here, or we have not introduced any rule here or anything that instead of two, three elements should be passed. We have not passed here, but in calling a function, we passed another variable here. What do you guys think? It will return simple, it will return 4 only. Okay, let me give you another example here. Let's say where c equals to 10. Okay, we have declared c variable here it's 10, and in calling a function we told that c equals to 2. So what it will return? What it will return? The value c, what it will be? Guys, please speak. If you are getting it, please try to be interactive. What it will return? If we introduce a value of c should be 10, and we called, we returned c here, and we called here c, and we can, in JavaScript, we can change the value here. What it will return? It will return the value of c is equals to 2. Simple. If we try, okay, let's check it is working or not here. If we introduce a function add, and parents, we should pass a comma b, return a plus b. And if we called an add function here 1 comma 3, it will return obviously 4. But if we introduced another value here 4 or 3, it is returning 4 only. But it is processing and passing the value. Okay, it is processing this value and it is keeping this value in the memory also, but it is not making use of it. So what if we what if we pass a function here that calls an alert? Let's see how we can do that in JavaScript. You know, inline functions are there in Python also, in JavaScript also, in many programming languages. There is an inline function where you can use like this. You can like call this. Okay, so here we are not using any space also. We are not using any quotes also. So what we can do is we can call, we can't call direct here alert. here because it won't get executed. So in previous lab we have learned that if we throw an error like this, throw an error, so it might get be called like we have done in previous lab like that image equals to image src equals to x and on error equals to alert1. We have done in the previous lab like if there is an x image, so load it. If not, give an error alert1. Simple. In the same here, we will use throw keyword. Basically what it does, it will throw an error. It will tell the browser that there is an error here. So what we will do, we will but now to use throw we need to give a space here. To write another parameter we need to give space here, but it is getting blocked by the browser, by the security of the application. So how we can do that? We can do this by introducing comments like this. Comments in JavaScript, these comments are used for multi-line comments like this. In JavaScript, this is used to create a multi-line function. Okay, so now we can use this as a space that there is. We will use this. If we pass this empty, it will interpret as a space. And then we have been studied that there is a function which calls on error. So its name is on error only. On error equals to, we can call alert, but now also same issue, we can't pass bracket also here. So there is a function, there is a property in throw that we can pass multiple parameters by adding a comma. So what we can do here is we can add a comma, and what we have to pass a parameter for this function, we can pass here 1337. Okay, if we tried this here, let's see it will work or not. Why it is not there is going to be some issue in this as we introduced this, and we have to add a bracket also here and the comma, so that this quote will close this string and the bracket will close this bracket and a comma to introduce our new function. Okay, okay, after this will be used. Okay, let's try it working or not. Okay, it didn't work. Let's check what issue it is coming. It is HTML. Okay, as you can see, it is getting URL encoded. Okay, no issues. If we tried to enter the URL encoded only, let's check. Need to remove this. Okay. Encode as URL, and if we copied it, we tried here. Okay, let me just and go here. Okay, copy this again, and we tried here. Okay, it is not working. Let's check. Let's debug again. Okay, this is working correct only. Okay, it is getting URL encoded here, whole thing. Okay, let's check. What we have done here. Okay, what if we introduce the function that is specifying the browser that these codes are string, not the URL encoded data. That might work. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we can try that. Um, to string equals to x plus random data and window plus. Okay, we can try this. What do you guys think? Will it work? Let me just copy down this payload here. I will explain this. First, let me try that the payload is working or not. Then I will explain this. Okay, and parameter and this will close this, and we introduce the function. Okay, that will throw an error, and on error it will call this, and toString we will call toString. Okay, and window plus this thing which will come, it will convert this to string. Okay, and let me close this. Some random data. so that it can be closed properly. And if we try this, okay, here, okay, it's not working still. Let's check. Okay, here, edit as HTML. Okay, everything is working correctly. Why it is not giving a pop-up? Okay, on this post, it is closing here. Okay, and do this x equals to x and throw in error alert, and this is also correct. To string correct. So why it is not working here? Let's again check that. Slash post question mark post id equals to 1, and we enter our payload here. It is our payload, and it is, we will copy this and it will close this. Okay, introduce another parameter and this will go. Let's check. It is HTML. It is working correct only. So why it is not giving a pop-up? Why it is not executing the load function? Okay, let's check the solution. What they are doing. Same case they are doing, but our payload is not working. Let's check why. Let me decode as one. We are doing exactly same thing, but why it is not working? Okay, my bad. I have introduced here single ports. That why it was not working. Let's try again. Post ID. Remove this. Okay, it worked. So let me explain how it worked. Okay, first of all, we see that there is a fetch function where our entered data was going. So let me clear this. Okay, okay. We saw that by adding an ampersand and we entered hello, so it was going into the URL, and we saw that it is going into a fetch function which is calling JavaScript. So what we did is first we escaped this string first, we escaped this string first, then we escaped this curly braces, and in fetch we can give another parameters by giving a comma, and we can use another parameter. So what we did, we introduced, because in this lab what was there, spaces were blocked, brackets were blocked, tilde was blocked, everything were blocked. So what we did, we created an inline function in JavaScript which don't use spaces, and what we did, it will call itself by specifying throw function which returns an error. So we introduced a throw function which calls itself when the error occurs, and what we specified that on error throw this function on error equals to alert and comma, as we can't use round bracket, so in throw function we can pass another parameter by using a comma. So what we did, we passed the value here 133. So what it does that this will be passed in this argument, and this argument calls when an error occurs, and we are explicitly telling that throw an error. So this will be called, but our strings which we introduced were blocked. So what we did, we gave a toString function which we gave a toString function and passed a random value that this function, okay, toString this function, wherever it gets blocked or something occurs or something URL encoded, browser does an URL encode, convert this into toString, which will convert back it to string, okay. And we introduced another function window plus single quotes, as we have specified that in this window what it does, that it will add this into the URL by specifying that this single quotes to be used, okay. It's a browser functionality, and we explicitly close this so that no error occurs. It's your wish, you can pass anything or can't you you cannot pass anything. It's totally on your choice. You can pass something, some value here or not. We pass some value here so that no error occurred, as it was automatically adding this at the end. So we did this so that no error will occur. Okay.